Hi, I'm Callum. Many of you will know me as a 2020 leaver, and I am very pleased to be back at Canford to tell you all about the forthcoming annual Careers Convention. You will have already received an email from Mr. Doherty asking you to identify your industries of interest. If you haven't already filled this in, make sure it's the first thing you do after listening to this presentation because it is really important. Now, before I say anything else, do not underestimate how brilliant this event promises to be. Sixth form is the time when thoughts turn to life after Canford, and this careers convention is the perfect platform from which to practice networking, establish some contacts in industry, and explore some amazing work experience opportunities. It'll be the 17th year that Canford School has run this event, and as an online event, this is shaping up to be Canford's most ambitious convention to date. A vast array of industries will be represented, with a staggering 140 OCs and parents volunteering to share their skills and personal experiences. This is also the first time that the entire sixth form is going to be invited, all 280 of you. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about how the day will run, which, by the way, is going to be taking place on Friday, the 19th of March. The morning will be hosted by our brilliant guest speaker, Mr. Simon Phillips, a man who is certainly no stranger to visiting Canford School. Simon is a best-selling author, and he's a powerful role model in the world of personal development. His professional networks extend around the world, and as the founder of the Changemaker Group, he strives to enable people to truly thrive in their careers. He will be delivering a conference session, and all the information he's going to give you will equip you with the knowledge and skills to help you get the very most out the rest of the day. Simon's conference will also contain lots of breakout groups, which will be led by some of the professionals you may well meet in the afternoon. Therefore, this could definitely prove to be a great time to get started with a bit of your networking. After a break for lunch, you'll be invited to attend 2 half-hour panel sessions of your choice. Each panel will be made up of a small group of different professionals, all of whom work in the same sector. This is your opportunity to interact and ask as many questions as you like. For example, maybe you should talk about the different routes into their industry and find out which degrees they studied. Maybe ask how to make professional contacts, and it's definitely a good idea to discuss what it's really like to work in their field. You name it, this is your chance to ask it. Just remember, these panels are all about you asking them, so try to gather as much information as you possibly can. It's a good idea to prepare some questions beforehand and make sure to do your research about the people who you're going to be talking to. Often, professionals' personal opinion might differ from what you've already heard, so who knows, this may even open up an entirely new avenue for you to explore. For me, the panels were an exciting chance not only to ask those burning questions, but also to learn from the questions other students are asking. Don't be put off if you're unsure what to talk about. I can guarantee that you'll feel enthused by the conversations and inspired to find out more. The third and final part of the day will involve 2 amazing opportunities to meet with professionals on a one-to-one basis. You'll be able to use those skills acquired earlier in the day to really show what you're about. Online meetings and interviews are definitely going to be the new norm, so use this as a brilliant opportunity to put into practice what you learned from Simon Phillips earlier in the day. This is your chance to pitch you. For these sessions, you're going to want to make a brilliant impression, so just like with the panels earlier, do your research on the person you're talking to and make sure to introduce yourself properly. For those of you in upper 6th, this is also the perfect opportunity to put into action what you prepared for your elevator pitch in Ivy House. When you're talking to them, definitely use their name and talk about their work and why it interests you. You're only going to have 10 minutes with each person, so ensure you really prepare what you want to get out of this brief meeting with them, and make sure to sell yourself in the questions you ask. Ensure you really show your enthusiasm, and for all you know, they may want to keep in touch with you in the future, and they might even offer you a work experience opportunity. Right. Now I'm going to go back to that online form. So on that email from Mr. Doherty, there was a short snippet of information about every single professional who will be taking part in this convention. So read it, because when you meet them, if you can show that you've done some research, they will be way more interested in what you have to offer. A stage manager once told me that he could get up to 50 letters and emails a week asking for work experience. However, he wouldn't even open them unless they were addressed to him personally by name. Anything that said, "Dear stage manager," was sent straight to the shredder. So just do your research. Oh, and one more thing, if you do manage to get the contact details from a professional, make sure to contact them, even if it's just to thank them for their time. So, let's hear some comments from previous years. Who knows, you might even recognise some familiar faces.
Hi guys, thanks for agreeing to talk to us today. We're just trying to find out how you found the Career Symposium.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm thinking about doing medicine and today's been really useful for me. I've been on the medical panel and I've learned a lot of stuff about their day-to-day lives. I've also been on the interview skills, which is a really important part of getting into medical schools, so that's been really useful.
Brilliant. Benjamin?
I've been to the technology and engineering panels, which are both very helpful. Learning about how what I want to study can be applied in different areas. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I went to the laws session today and I found that really useful because I didn't really know that much about it, but I'm interested in it, so it gave me an idea of like the different paths that I can take to get into it and like different jobs that I can do around it.
Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Ohm. I also went to the medical panel and I also went to the science panel. That was really interesting as well. We had there was a lot of doctors on the scene in the medical one, and they were all telling us about what's happening up to date in medicine and how to apply, what to put in your application and all of that stuff. So it's really helpful.
Thank you.
What I find is so much of it is just about other people. It's about being engaging and being interesting. And if you don't have a broad array of interests and knowledge to bring to the table, then even if you are an expert in your field, you're probably not going to get far. It doesn't matter how good or clever you are if you're standing in a corner being ignored. I think it's really great to actually sit down with people and talk to someone, even if they don't do exactly what you want to do. You can learn from anyone.
Impression this year that the children have embraced it much more. If I think back to my sort of 17-year-old self, would I have been as confident, as able to ask questions, as able to interact as they were? Probably not. I was really impressed actually.
And I absolutely wish when I'd been here, we'd had it.
When you grow up in a place like Canford, there's nowhere that you feel that you don't belong. There's nowhere that you feel you're not good enough for. There is inherent strength and self-confidence, which I certainly felt I got from Canford and which I've seen in all the pupils I've spoken to today. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you
Marvelous.
so much.
No problem.
For
Thank
coming.
you. Thanks.
Now, I'm just going to finish off on a more personal note. As many of you know, my passion lies in the theatre and the engineering behind so many of the incredible movements and effects you might see on stage. Now, I went into this event 2 years ago, looking at the list of names and thinking, well, there isn't really anything for me here. The closest people to what I was interested in were a film director and someone who worked in the engineering of car engines. But the amount that I got out of the day was absolutely astonishing. I was able to find out more about what studying engineering at university would be like, how to make progress in an industry where it's as much about who you know as what you know. And above all else, I learned how to speak to people in a professional context. Using the networking skills I learned in the day, I've been able to arrange some incredible work experiences with the UK tours of some amazing shows including Matilda and Les Miserables. I've gained contacts in the West End and I've even earned a place in the National Youth Theatre. So, my message to you is to be open-minded. Don't make assumptions that there's nothing in this day for you, even if you're looking at the list of names and thinking, well, there isn't really anyone here who's going to be interested in what I've got to offer. Just go for it. Put yourself out there and learn from them. You never know what might come out of it. So, use this day as a springboard to your futures, and be sure to make the most of every piece of information you can gather. Sometimes those opportunities can come from the most unexpected places. Do your research, fill in those forms, and on March 19th, have an amazing day.